So let's talk about putting in your sketches and how to turn these sketches into final artwork. This is quite a process, and you need to kind of plan for doing this in many steps. So, the first thing you want to do is open up your source file, and then you're gonna bring in any photos or anything like that. You can do file and place, and then that way you can bring in, say you have a picture like this one, and we'll say place. And then I'm going to click here, and now it's there. I can use the move tool to move it where I want it to be. We're going to use layers to help us create a template and do all our work on the other layer. So you're going to go to Window and Layers. So this should come up. And then all of your template stuff should be on, let's double click in there and let's call this template. I'm going to lock that by clicking on this part, and then I'm going to make a new layer like this, and then let's call this final art. Okay, so now that it's locked, whatever I do, I don't have to worry because I'm going to be doing everything on this green layer. I'm just gonna, all right. So I already started to do some work. Now, I'm going to show you a few things to kind of help you out when you're recreating your sketches. There's a few things you can use. You can use objects. So let's go here. We've got circles, rectangles, stars. So, for instance, if I wanted to make this beak, I could use a star, click and drag. Alright, so let's click and drag. If I press the arrow key down, I get a triangle. Now, I'm tracing with a fill. Fill is none, which is what you want. If there was a fill in here, it would be difficult to see what you're doing. So make sure you don't have a fill. And then you can have a stroke. If the black is hard to tell, you could make it like a grayish color, if that's easier to help you work. So you could just start by making a bunch of little, like figure out where are the places that might actually be, like this could be a square right there, and then I could, once I have it, I could press E to get the pre-transform tool. I can take this square, I can like change the angle, the size, something like that. Okay, and once I get it as much as it can go, I can take this tool, the direct selection tool, and I can grab an anchor point here, and I can take this individual anchor point and put it, I'm changing the object, I'm like adjusting the object to be a little more how I need it to be. And I can do the same thing for this insanely large beak. So we can take this part and move it here. If I want to get rid of one of these anchor points, I can go to the pen tool, which is here. If I click on that anchor point, it's going to delete the anchor point without actually deleting a path. Now let's go back to the direct selection tool, and I can start moving these anchor points where I need them to go. You're going to need to evaluate your image and figure out how many different shapes are you going to need. What is going to be a path? What is going to be an object? And it's not going to be all one thing. It's going to be made out of many different things, and they're going to be layered on top of each other. For instance, this is one shape right here. This could be another shape right there. This whole thing could be a shape. This could be a path, another path, and an object. This could be one path going up. This could be another path. This is a path. This is a path. This is a path. That's a path. That's a path. This is an object. This is an object. That is an object, right? So you're not making one giant thing. It's going to be made out of many different things put together. Let me show you an example. When I was working on this penguin here, which is down here, you can see that I started by trying to figure out, let's look at it in View, Outline, Command or Control Y. So we can see this is an object, it's a shape, this is a shape, this is a shape. This is actually just a path. This is an object. This little guy is just a path. This is a path, that's a path, those are paths, right? So you can start, and you need to kind of figure out, it's not all going to be one giant thing. So that's kind of the trick. From here, I might start to mess with the fill. So let's look at this. You need to work on the arrangements. So this part is set to back, meaning object, arrange, send to back. This arm is behind that. This one is in the front. This is kind of in the middle. And then I have this line there. This beak, if I take it out, you could see what's behind it, right? So you need to figure out your shapes. And shapes can go on top of each other. If it's a different color, it needs to be its own object. You may want to write this down in your notebook. If it's a different color, it has to be its own object. So if I want to make, for instance, I have a problem here where if this is black, I can't see the eyes anymore, right? So how am I going to do that? I can go to outline mode, select the eyes, go back to, I'm doing Command Y to go back to preview mode. What happens if I make the eyes white now? Okay, they're white. Let's see what that looks like. That looks a little freaky. So I might need to have some little eyeballs in there, or I might need to make another object which I put on top, and then let's go back to outline mode. I'm going to select the eyeballs. I'm going to go back to preview mode, and we need the eyeballs to be in the front. So arrange, bring to front. oh, they're black, so let's make them, they're white, let's make them black. And they can be in the front now, right? So now we know, right, if it's going to be a different color, it has to be a new shape. It has to be a different object. I could take this, I could make the fill black, I could make this, right, so now I need to have another shape that kind of connects those things together. Or I could just try to extend this up a bit. So I could keep working on this path. I could take the pen tool here and I could continue. When I'm using the pen tool, sometimes it's easier to not have it as a shape, to actually just have the line there. So I'm going to take the pen tool and we're going to continue this up so that we can make it black and it works. So to continue from where I left off from a previous path, I'm going to click on the anchor point, and now we can actually continue that. To end, I want to disconnect. I'll press enter. Now let's change the coloring of this guy. So I'm going to switch that around. The stroke becomes the fill. I want this one. If this is on the top, I have the problem of this hand needs to be on top of the body, right? So you might want to work this out so it kind of looks like it's part of the body there, but that looks okay for now. So we're gonna switch fill and stroke. Now again, this needs to go behind. Object, arrange, send back. And then this one has no fill, so let's change that to white. Okay, and then we need this on the top. So like arrangement's really important, right? You gotta put things where they need to go. You might have to make certain new shapes so that things work on top of each other, like this area, and you can always use the pen tool, combinations of the pen tool, right? So if I need to make a new shape, I can just use the pen tool here and do something like that. We can also use objects, and you can see here this is made out of a few different things. This is an object, very simple circle that's been altered. E to get your pre-transform. You can rotate it, you can move things around. You can use A, the direct selection tool, to adjust what you need to adjust, and or in conjunction with the pen tool to make these paths. This is just, this one is just a circle, and then this one is just a path, right? And this thing was made with the pen tool. So you need to have a few different ways of making objects, and you're going to be layering them on top of each other. For instance, it doesn't really matter what the top of this looks like if I put this on top, because I can select it all, use the shape builder tool, and I can trim off the areas that I don't want. In order to use the shape builder tool, everything has to be selected. I'm going to go to shape builder tool, and I want to trim off this. I'm going to press option and click, and then I just trimmed off that area, so my bucket is a little bit more even. Let's look at the creation of this iron. That's pretty simple. A triangle, another shape, and then a path there. So this is